Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. Okay, let me see. All right. Let's wait a few minutes. For those of you that are already on here, my name is Ronnie Relk, and I will be facilitating the course for you today. Um, yeah, so let's just give it a couple minutes, and then I'll kind of get into more of what we're going to be going over and share some insight with you with all of this class. I'm super excited. Just so you guys so you know, Patty won't be here today. She came into a medical emergency, so she's fine, but she won't be able to be on today. So let's just wait a few more minutes and then we'll get started. I think I'm going to unmute everyone just to get some feedback. Here we go. We're all unmuted. If you'd like to mute yourself, go ahead and do so on your own will now. All right, it's 11 a.m. I know some of you are coming in from Michigan, and I saw somebody got on earlier today, so I hope you're back on here right now. But yeah, let's just wait another minute. It's nice to see everyone and meet everyone. Okay, so I think I'll just start my intro and introduce myself. For those of you that are just coming on, like I said earlier, my name is Ronnie Relk, and and unfortunately Patty won't be able to be with us today as she's come across a medical emergency. So she's fine, but she just won't be able to be on today. So I'm just gonna go with it and share with you guys a course that Patty and I put together. It's something that I'm super passionate about. So yeah. I will mute everyone real quickly, and then we'll just roll so that you guys know, because Patty's not here, my right-hand girl can't watch the questionnaires. So I'm going to hold off on questions until the very end, and then I'll open up the conversation or the chat box for you guys, okay? So I'm going to mute everyone, and then I'll unmute you guys towards the end. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Okay. All right, so once again, my name is Ronnie Relk. I have been in the industry for 30 years. I have done everything under the moon inside this industry. I've been a salon owner. I worked behind the chair for many years. I've also been a platform artist and ran some educations throughout the country. So why am I here sharing this course with you called Style Your Mind, right? So I really wanted to create this course because about 8 years ago, just to give you some background on me, I came across an immune disorder that I fell into. And it wasn't coincidental by any chance. We're all working around chemicals for most of our lives. And for those of you that don't know, hairdressers or anybody that works in around chemicals have more immune disorders in our country than any other industry, which is crazy to me. So why did I want to create this course? I wanted to create this course because I feel like it is so vitally important that we really strengthen our minds, our bodies, and our spirit as we go back into work, because it's not going to be the same normal that we're used to. As hairdressers, are so used to, and we have this innate ability to really create money. And we know time is money, right? So a lot of us will go throughout the day without eating, or if we do, we're flying by, we're grabbing chips, we're ordering food in. And as we go back, we are going to have to become the new nurses. And those of you that know anybody that have been on the front lines, you know how tired they are, you know how long their days are. And I had the opportunity last week to actually go back to Iowa, where I'm originally from, and work. So I'm coming to you from experience. And going back to my story about the immune disorder, about 8 years ago, I decided that I needed to take control of my life. So I became a mindful meditation practitioner. I became a Reiki master, and I'm also a life coach. So being with all of that, and then I'm still passionate about doing hair, I had to change and shift my environment and everything I was doing externally and internally. And that started with my mind. And that also started with my physical being and how I approached things and what I ate and all of that. So I hope that some of these things that we're going to go through, we're going to go over emotional wellness, we're going to go over your physical wellness. And my huge baby as being a platform artist is how to control the environment in which you are in, meaning your conversations behind the chair. Because I promise you, as excited as our clients are to come see us and to be in our chairs, there is going to be a level of conversation that I think is so vitally important that you guys really take control and really keep that environment as positive as possible so that you can not be drained throughout the entire day and having the repetitive conversations. So with that being said, let's start with our emotional well-being. And I promise you guys, this is not going to be a big course on meditation. But at the end of this 30 minutes, I'm going to try to keep it at about 30 minutes. But at the end, I would like to take you guys through a 3 to 5 minute, really easy grounding meditation. And I think I'll share with you some other extra tools. But why meditation? I know we've heard this all before. Meditation, meditation. And here's the biggest myth about it, is that because we are people that move so much and we're so constantly, working with our hands, it's hard for us to quiet our minds. And that's not what this type of meditation is. And it's been scientifically proven. I've been on a gazillion doctor calls over the last, COVID situation for the last 2 months. And they're saying that meditation is going to be vital and huge for us to really boost and increase our immune system. Not only will it physically and mentally change the neurons in your brain to help you keep present and stay focused in your present state of being, but it also will physically help increase your immune system, which, like I said, as we go back, things are going to be different. We're not going to be able to go in there gung-ho and double up our clients and grab, McDonald's or, order pizza in as quickly and as easily as we did before. Because remember, what's important to remember too is that because we've been in quarantine, right? We've been in isolation. So our bodies haven't been around a lot of germs. And we're going to go over that a little bit as well. But we need to really help to boost our immune system. So as we go back and we're back in the chemical world that we live in and we used to be in day to day, we need to really find things that help to increase our immune system. So meditation is key to that. And mindful meditation is different because for those of you that didn't hear, I became a mindful meditation practitioner because I fell in love with the technique. And it physically and literally changed my personality. It changed what mindful meditation does. Let me explain it to you really quick in an easy way to understand it, is that it strengthens the neurons in your brain, physically and scientifically proven. What that does is actually changes the structure of your brain. I call it takes you between thought and reaction. So thought and reaction are something that's one and the same, right? But when we meditate, we strengthen the neurons to where we get to this sweet spot. So we don't have a reaction as quickly and we have time to process information and we get in control of our time and of our mind. And it's so important to do this. And there's so many different techniques that you can do literally while you're working. I do it when I blow dry. And because you guys are going to have masks on, this is going to be a huge opportunity for you. And I hope that you take this into consideration. But when your client has the mask on and you have the mask on, blow dry time is going to be your time. So if you blow dry and really concentrate on the brush moving through the hair, really combing the product through, that sort of thing, and just really try not to think about what's coming next, because that's what we do during blow dries. Most of us are like, who's coming in next? And then who's coming in next? And I hope she liked it that just left. And so this is your time to really take your mind and your body and be completely 100% present. And I promise you, if you do this all day, you will have a sense of calm, because as we go back, things are going to be different. We're going to be taking temperatures. We're going to be logging everybody. There's going to be, downtime that you're going to have spend cleaning in between. And all of this can be pretty stressful, especially with wearing a mask all day long. So taking the time to really do some meditation while you're working will really help to center you and bring you back to the present moment instead of, your anxiety kicking in because of all the newness that we're going to experience with all these different tasks that we're going to have. So blow dry is a great time. Shampoo bowl. And most of you, I don't know, I know for me, shampoo bowl is my like downtime. It's my quiet time. And when you do mindfulness meditation, all you need to really do is just quiet your mind and focus in. You're giving the brain something to do. We're not trying to completely eliminate our thoughts. What we're trying to do is really bring our thought to the present moment. So as you're shampooing your client, watch the suds, feel the texture of the water and the soap and the scalp and the hair moving through your fingers. I know it kind of sounds a little silly, but I promise you, it really will physically change the way that you presently are being behind the chair. So those are two easy things to do at work. The other thing I really want to preface is that take your breaks. From my own experience last week and working behind the chair, you are going to need these breaks. You need to get outside and get some fresh air. You need to take off your mask. So if you can squeeze in 5 minutes, well, if you're not doubling up with your clients, because most of us, I don't know where you guys are from or what your regulations are, but we're not able to double up. So during the color processing time, I know we never want to leave the building while color is on, but it's vitally important that you get outside for a moment. And if you have to take some meditation time in your car or, you know, just sitting out back, I don't know what your salon rules are, but it really is important just to step outside for a few moments and get some vitamin D and really takes in some fresh air rather than, you know, being around all the chemicals. Now, I'll remind you that there's going to be more chemicals now because now a lot of people are using Clorox and things of that nature. So it's really important for you guys to take your breaks. From experience, last week I watched one of my colleagues who never took a break, and she was completely, I mean, and here's the other thing, we're going to be working more hours because we can't double up, right? So she was completely depleted by the end of the day, like almost in tears. So, you know, I just really preface that take this time to meditate. And as I said before, I'm going to take you through a quick meditation at the very end to show you how easy it is. And that's not complicated. And the myth of shutting off your mind is a myth of the past. So, okay, that being said, I'd like to move on to our physical being. And as I was stating earlier, because we've been in isolation, our immune systems are compromised and they're a little weakened, you know, unless you've been really taking care of yourself and taking a lot of supplements and that nature. But because we are bacteria free right now, it really has let our immune system relax, if you will. So if any of you have picked up any extra exercise techniques over your whole quarantine, please continue those. Here's why. It's not just to stay physically fit, but what it actually does by working out, any kind of exercise, going for a walk, doing some yoga, you know, like I said, taking your break and just walking up and down the street a little bit wherever you're working at. It's vital because what it does actually is it increases our white blood cells. And we know that white blood cells, you know, protects us from disease and infection. So keeping with your exercise routine, don't let that go away if you picked up on it during this downtime. It's so important. It also, you know, reduces the cortisol, which is the stress hormone in our bodies. And as we go back, we're going to be a little stressed out, right? We have to be the new nurses for our clients and really make sure that we're physically staying, you know, mentally positive and also physically strong. And exercise is going to help you do that. It also increases the serotonin in our brains. So we want to make our experience for our guests that are coming in very positive, because I promise you that they're going to come in with a different type of conversation and a little bit of fear is going to be in them. So if we can keep and maintain our own strength, it's like, you know, when you go to an airline, and they say, you know, put on your mask before you put it on your child or an elderly person. Same goes for here. We've got to take care of our bodies. And our guests are counting on us to hold space for them and in a positive manner. So it's super important that you maintain your exercise routine. Also, as I said before, with my immune disorder, I've really changed the way that supplements that I've been taking. And these are huge. So Vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. I'm on one of the doctor panels for a CDC, and this regimen that I'm going to give you. And by the way, at the end of this, if you guys are like trying to take a bunch of notes, that's totally fine. But Patty and I have created a spreadsheet for you so that all this will be on there for you as well. So don't feel like you have to run and go grab paper and pen. You can if you want. So vitamin D. 90% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. And it's so important. You can't OD on vitamin D at all. So vitamin D3 is what I use. Antioxidants. Here's the thing. Us hairdressers like to not eat, or when we do, we're cramming food in our face in 2.2 seconds. And which isn't always healthy for us, but it's just the way we've been conditioned. So, and that's all good, but try to take snacks with you and use things that have antioxidants in it, which will help fight disease as well. So antioxidants such as berries, nuts, spinach, make a spinach, salad, bake some kale chips the night before, bring those in with you. Kale is huge in antioxidants. Use things like super seed, take oranges, little cuties, and multigreens, green tea. Try to stay away from your sodas because that just depletes us. And we know that food is what fuels us. So pay attention to the food that you're putting into your body and ask yourself, is this going to fuel me or is it going to drag me down? And most of us know that. And you guys know all this. It's just a reminder that this is so important right now so that we can really have the highest amount of energy and positivity to give to our guests that are so excited to see us. And we have to be just as excited as well. What else? Oh, probiotics. We want to make sure that we're maintaining our gut strength, which is our second brain. So using probiotics is really, really important. Zinc. Zinc is one of the top number one things that the CDC has recommended. So making sure that you get zinc. And for those of you that, like I said earlier, I'm going to be handing out a reference sheet. Patty or I will email it to you as soon as we get off this call or maybe later today. But zinc is super, super important. Also melatonin, and really trying to melatonin in the evening, please. But melatonin will help you really get a good night's sleep. And during sleep is when we heal the quickest. So making sure that you get all your hours of sleep. I know you guys all know this, but it's just really important that we stay strong. If we go in there gung-ho right from the get-go, by the first week, you're going to be depleted and you're going to be exhausted emotionally, mentally, and physically. So I hope that these tools are helping you. So that was the physical aspect. We've talked about meditation. We talked about the physical aspect, making sure you get outside, take that mask off, stop breathing in your own breath all day long, and drink 72 ounces, a minimum of water. Water flushes our system. And one of the things that they talk about, if any of you are on here that are fearful of the virus, water is one of the things that the CDC recommends. It kind of flushes through your system, really detoxifying your liver. For those of you that are oilers, I'm an oiler. I'm also an aromatherapist, but I drink lemon water all day long. I also diffuse lemon in my salon where I work at. Lemongrass, purification, those types of things will actually take negative charges in the air and actually dilute them. So I also put that reference into the spread. So moving on to my next and favorite, the conversation. So as a presenter, these are some of the tools that I have been taught, and they have come in so handy for me in presentations and even behind the chair. And one of the things that I think we forget as hairdressers, and because we make our life about our clients, right, is that we cannot, especially at this time, let them control the conversation. Because in my experience last week, it's the topic of conversation. It's the thing they want to talk about. And if we can find 3 to 4 stories and really control the conversation, this is going to be vital. First and foremost, 80% of your conversation should be spent on the hair, right? It should be spent on the recovery system, the products that they need to be using, because some of them haven't had product pickup, or, and if they have, maybe it's time to switch it. Each client is going to be a brand new client in your chair. because their hair is different. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but really making it more about them and their hair rather than the conversation being around COVID is going to really keep things light, and it's going to keep things exciting for everyone. There were a few clients that I had to really pull out, and don't fall into the trap. I call it the rabbit hole trap. And what we want to do is control the conversation. And the easiest way to do that is write down 3 stories. So 3 stories that you experienced over your isolation. Great things. 3 things that you did differently. Maybe you cooked something new. Maybe you started cooking. Maybe you planted something. Maybe you did a puzzle. Maybe you made some TikToks. Share some of that with them. Or ask them, what fun things did you do? There's different key questions that we can ask to really take control of the conversation. Ask them, what was the best day in your isolation? Did you do anything different? Did you do anything fun? Did you learn anything new about yourself? And make it fun. And that might not be your dialogue. Of course, it is for mine. My clients kind of know that I'm like that. But, make sure that you're controlling the conversation. If they go back into these conversations, it's okay. Ask another question. But having a repertoire of these questions is going to save you. I promise you that for sure. All right. So I personally shared, I did some TikToks. I got to spend time with my daughter home from college, like things like that. Try to think of those. Here's the truth to it, is that a lot of people are going to be coming in out of fear. Some people are going to be misplaced or having anxiety about them because of your spot. Your chair is going to be the first place that most of these people have gone to in months. And that really sends some anxiety for people. And you're going to also have clients that are going to be super excited. I had a couple clients last week that wore heels, and I was like, where are you going? They were like, to see you. So it's really important that we really make the conversation behind the chair as positive and uplifting as possible. And not to mention for them, but for you. Who wants to talk about this stuff all day long, every client back to back to back to back? Things to stay away from. And here's our new normal. We stay away from religion. We've been taught that. We stay away from politics, and we stay away from finances. Now we need to stay away from COVID. It's just a conversation that I think it's going to happen, but making it a positive conversation and a neutral conversation rather than an opinionated conversation. We have to remember too that even though we know our clients pretty well, and that some of these clients may have become your best friends, and you want to share, your experiences or your fears, but now is not the time to do that. Now is the time that we have to hold space for them in laughter and in silliness and in love, and really make it all about their hair and not about the pandemic that's been going on. Also remembering that it's not just you behind the chair. It's also your colleagues and their clients. Last week there was one of my coworkers who was talking about all of this and was having an opinion about the governor of Iowa, and an opinion about the governor, and my client was getting offended. And I kind of felt like, oh, yeah. So remember that you're holding an entire space for, everyone around you, and not falling into what I call the rabbit hole of conversation, because that rabbit hole will end up depleting you. It'll also deplete your clients. And we're here to make them feel beautiful and look beautiful, right? So it's completely up to you guys how you run your business and your atmosphere behind your chair. I think it's so important, and I saw it firsthand last week, and it was really hard for me to pull some of my clients out of that. She wanted to talk about Trump, and they wanted to talk about the stimulus, and these are things we do not want to talk about. We don't want to talk about vaccines. We don't want to talk about stimulus or unemployment. We don't want to talk about governor's rules or Trump. We want to just stay away from it. Keep it light. And worst case scenario, bring it all back to the hair. It's what we're there for, honestly. So that's it. That's all of it in a nutshell. Other than I really would like to take you guys on a oh, we're doing really good on time. I'd like to take you guys on a 5-minute meditation if you don't mind. The reason why I want to do this is because I think that there's a false um, belief around meditation.
You too, Adelie.
Oh,
Oh man, that works.
okay, sorry. So I just had to mute. Okay. Okay. So if you guys are ready, get comfortable. This is only going to last probably 4 to 5 minutes. And it's a super easy grounding technique that you can do before you go into work. You can do on your lunch break. You can do while you're sitting in your car. I know a lot of break rooms are going to be closed. So it's super, super easy. And you'll be surprised at how quick it goes. And then I'm going to open it up after we're done with the meditation to just, answer any questions anyone has and give you some more information about me and some other programs that I'm offering. So, okay, everyone get comfortable. And go ahead and close your eyes. And take a slow, long, deep breath in, filling up your lungs completely. And as you exhale, let it all go. Feel you sink into your body. Take another slow, long, deep breath in. Release and let it all go as you feel your body becoming heavier and heavier, more and more relaxed. I'd like you now, in your mind's eye, to bring all your awareness to your feet, the balls of your feet, your heels, your toes. Put all your attention into your feet, maybe the texture of the ground beneath you. What does that feel like? Just notice everything about your feet. And now bring your awareness into your ankles, noticing what you feel there. And into your calves now, your shins, if they're resting up against something, what does that feel like? Maybe you feel the texture of your pants or a breeze across them. And if your mind starts to wander, it's okay. Just bring it back to your calves. Now let's put all of our awareness onto our knees. Moving up into our thighs. Notice if you feel any twitching or any movement. Notice what the chair feels like beneath you. And now bring your awareness into your hips. Notice the chair beneath you, the texture of it. And now bring your awareness into your abdomen, your lower back. Noticing any movement, any warmth. Just notice what's there. There's no right or wrong. And now move your awareness into your chest, your upper back. Maybe if you're leaning up against something, what does that feel like? The texture of it. Notice if there's any tension. Feel your lungs as they expand and release. Now bring your awareness into your neck and your shoulders. Notice what's there. And if your mind starts to wander, that's okay. Just bring it back to your shoulders. And move your awareness all the way down your arms to the tips of your fingers. Noticing where your hands are resting. I'd like you now to pull your awareness up your arms, over your shoulders, up your neck. Feel your scalp, your forehead. Notice what it's doing. Your eyes. Feel the softness of your cheeks. Your jawline. Without making judgment, just notice what's there. I'd like you now to imagine a pure ball of white light that lingers just above your crown. Imagine this white light as it expands, moving down, melting over your scalp, passing through your entire body, to your chest, your abdomen, your hips, thighs, your calves, reaching the tips of your toes. I'd like you now to take a slow, long, deep breath in and start to bring your awareness back into the room, back into my voice. You might want to stretch your fingers a little bit or your toes. Well, I hope you guys like that. No, I just unmuted everybody. If anybody has any comments, and I just wanted to preface that I am going to send out this sheet for you guys. Inside that sheet, I also have a SoundCloud meditation station. I also have a YouTube meditation station, and that'll be in there as well. I have reference guides where you can get some of these supplements. And then I also have I'm doing 50% off for, those of you that are on this call. If you wanted to continue doing a 4-week, I know I have my own personal salon that's actually doing 4 weeks of just this once a week and just kind of sharing, giving a space for our staff and our colleagues to really take care of ourselves and support one another. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. My name is Roni Rilk, RoniRoeHLK @gmail.com. I also have a website at that same address at RoniRelk.com. So other than that, you guys, I hope that was beneficial. I hope that you utilize these tools because we're all going to need them. And the most important thing is to stay positive and help each other out in this time and really help lift each other up, so we can all be positive and in a healing space. So thank you again for having me. And I'm sorry Patty couldn't make it with us today. But we will be reaching out to each one of you. And like I said, reach out to me if you have any questions. So have a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, I'll chat with you guys soon.
Thank you, Roni.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.